Hello, this is Sierra and welcome to another video. Today we're reading chapter 20 of Hermitcraft Retribution, Perspective of Scar, and yeah. This will be the last chapter of this part, but there will be one part after this. Yeah. Things are about to get interesting, and yeah. We'll be reading the next chapter in the next episode because, well, this is how I do it, okay? Gonna leave you on a cliffhanger, won't ya? Yeah, gotta love leaving people on cliffhangers. Chapter 20. Scar rolled into the hallway of Gem Space sometime in the afternoon, with Caleb and Eliza right behind him. Matthias had stopped by earlier, requesting that at least 2 protectors be with a hermit at all times if they were alone. Scar didn't mind the company, although he did miss his alone time with Jelly, cuddling with her and whispering sweet nothings into her ear. Sometimes, if she lay on his lap for long enough, he would tell her stories, or secrets he never told anyone else. But protocol was protocol, and he respected Matthias' insistence on making sure everyone was safe. It was his job, after all. He made it to the storage room, pushing the door open the rest of the way. It had been left open by the last person who'd come across here. Scar rolled into the room, surrounded by a wall of chests, along with a few sugar boxes lining the floors, pushed back against the wall the best they could, so they wouldn't be a tripping hazard, or rather, a roadblock. Do you think Gem would have it in here? Scar asked his friends curiously. Caleb shrugged. But a sugar box full of water buckets? Eliza frowned. Wouldn't that be heavy? It's a breeze for us YouTubers. Scar shrugged nonchalantly, rolling over to one of the chests after scanning them. None of them were labeled for water buckets, so he assumed it might be in a miscellaneous pile. Our inventories can be full of shulkers of gold blocks, and we wouldn't break a sweat. What? Eliza gasped, trying to stifle a gasp of shock. Let me rewrite that. Hang on. What? Eliza tried to stifle a gasp of shock. Scar chuckled, seeing Caleb break a smile. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Sometimes we can surprise ourselves at what we can do, Scar mused, rummaging through the chest. I'm not sure it's in here. Are you looking for this? A voice said from behind him. Near the door, Scar froze. He sat up straight, seeing Caleb whirl around, extending a sword, which a chuckle followed. Now, I'm only here to chat. No harm in that, is there? How did you get in here, Gerald? Caleb demanded. Scar turned, eyes wide as he saw the man close the storage room door behind him. A lock clicked as the man released the doorknob. You can't just portal in. Can't I? The man raised an eyebrow. Do you not think we can't find a way around your genius friend's tricks? After all, we were the first to create the technology. Gerald tossed down his sugar box onto the floor. Scar heard a sloshing sound inside the box. Have you been watching us? Perhaps, the man mused, pointing to the curtained window behind them. I know you'd probably want to come by and grab something. I doubt you would have gone all that way to a lake to get some water when you had some right here. Scar swallowed, rolling his shoulders back. What do you want? I think you know, Scar, Gerald said coldly, his dark eyes gleaming. You hurt me twice. Made a fool of me. Twice. I don't think you've learned your lesson. Maybe I should show your friends here what I do to nuisances. Scar is not a nuisance. Eliza stood firmly, standing beside the hermit, her chin high and defiant. He is powerful, and very close to some of our friends, Gerald said simply. Campbell's wanted to make a point, and I have the freedom to do whatever I want. So long as we make ourselves clear, there is nothing you can do to escape your fate. I'm sure you knew that very well, Scar. That's giving me the creeps. Julius chose to spare me for a reason, Scar said shakily. Killing us will only make us stronger. It makes no difference what you do. My friends won't stop. They'll keep going. What if that's what I want? Gerald raised an eyebrow, pulling something out of his pocket as Caleb tensed. Scar reached down to the secret compartment where the communicator was hidden. Could he get it in time? Get to it in time? You're not getting out of this one, Scar. I appreciate the fun, but now it's time to finish this. Scar let out a gasp, and the man threw a pearl, extending a dagger in hand as Eliza pulled his wheelchair out of the way of the projectile. Pressing a button, a force field appeared around them. She pulled out her sword just as Gerald appeared a few feet from the field as Caleb lunged at the man, deflecting the attack. Get out of here! I'll hold them back! Caleb shouted, not even looking over his shoulder. He'll do no such thing. Gerald sneered, grabbing for the boy, flinging him across the room. Glass shattered as Caleb's body smashed through the window, his scream fading as he plummeted. No! Eliza raised her sword, stepping in front of Scar, his force field still blocking the man. Scar knew it wouldn't block him for long. Caleb! Relax, I could have done worse if I wanted to. Gerald's eyes flashed, just like what happened to your brother. The girl faltered. How did you? Where it gets around, child, Gerald mused. It's a shame you weren't able to save him. Here you are, insistent on protecting someone whose fate has already been sealed. By who? She narrowed her eyes. Me. He sneered, lifting his dagger, charging. Scar managed to grab his communicator, enough to press a button before it slipped from his hand. Startled by the thud of impact the man made against his shield. I don't think that was a good idea. Eliza smirked at the man, her shock quickly fading. The man's dark eyes were ablaze with fury, pressing through the force field. The girl glanced over at Scar. How long can this hold? Long enough, Gerald growled, his teeth gritting with pain. Skin starting to steam from his hands, arms, and face as they pressed through, fighting the field. Scar, get to the door and get out, Eliza said matter-of-factly. How very noble of you, Gerald snickered, Scar beginning to roll back slowly, shifting the shield. The man grimaced in pain, fighting through the shield as it shifted. You can't escape me, Scar. The door is locked. Good thing I have an axe, Scar exclaimed back, pulling an axe he had stashed in a compartment, increasing his speed as he hurtled for the door. Eliza screamed from behind him. Scar glancing back to see her trying to stop Gerald from getting past her. Eliza! Scar clutched the axe in his hand, eyes widened as the man tackled her down. The girl grunted in pain. The man looked up at the hermit. Break the door. I dare you. The man's eyes gleamed with hunger. Scar recognized the look in his eyes. The same look he had when the man believed he had the upper hand. Scar broke down the door. Gerald heard Eliza. Go! Eliza groaned, trying to fight against the man pinning her down. Get out of here! Scar felt his hand shaking, the axe trembling in his hand. Whatever. The hermit looked between the man and the girl, and the door, frozen in place, unsure of what to do. Suddenly, an idea struck him as the hermit met eyes with Gerald, tightening his axe. No one gets left behind. No! Eliza cried as Scar hurled the axe, aiming it for the man's head. Gerald ducked, the axe flying over him before hitting the wall with a hard thud. Gerald laughed, holding his dagger still in hand as he struck down. Eliza screamed in pain. You can't stop me, child. Just like you couldn't stop those men from finishing your brother. The man looked down at her coldly. Scar wheeled his chair around, checking the setting of his chair quickly. Would it be a shame if I made you watch as I tortured the life out of him? Would be a shame. It's not a question, it's a statement. Okay. Would be a shame if I made you watch as I tortured the life out of him. No! Eliza sobbed as Scar pressed a button. Hurtling toward the man, Gerald looked up just in time, seeing the hermit charging toward him, pouncing as Scar got close enough. Scar screamed as the force sent him flying backward, his chair slamming into the door before it fell. Scar lying on his side with a groan. His wheels still rolling aimlessly. Force field still intact. But Gerald stumbled to his feet, wearing a dark smile on his face. Hippos! Scar pleaded in his thoughts. I'm in the storage room. Caleb and Eliza are hurt. Gerald is... The man startled him out of his thoughts when he heard a snap. The force field flickering away as Gerald loomed over him. Do you regret what you did to me, Hermit? I'd do it again. Scar groaned, the weight of the chair pressing down on him as Gerald knelt down, not stopping him. If it meant protecting my friends. Such a pity. Gerald chuckled, meeting the Hermit's eyes. Tears filled Scar's vision. You're all the same. Weak. No one can save you now. Shh. Scar felt the man grab him, lifting him out of the chair before slamming him into the wall beside the door, the man's hand holding him to the wall. Bubbles floated off the man as Scar blinked. Where did you get strength? One of the chests had a spare. Gerald's smile widened. Scar winced. Made sense now. How the man had been able to throw Caleb out the window. How he was able to hurt Eliza. How he'd now hurt him. Gerald leaned closer, holding the dagger in between them. You're going to wish Julius finished the job. Hermit. Scar screamed as Gerald struck, feeling the iron blade biting into his skin, ripping through his shirt as tears blurred his vision. Pain, like molten lava, erupted from his chest, his eyes not leaving Gerald, who watched him. Scar smelled smoke, feeling like his whole chest was on fire. He coughed, groaned, struggling to free himself. Gerald smiled darkly as something like light flashed behind him. Scar blinked, confused. The man's shadow blotted out the light as his vision faded into blackness, unable to fight back the pain. Yep, that's the end of this episode. Yeah. You guys can feel free to leave any comments or theories down in the description, down in the comment section below if you want. Yeah, who do you think that was? Obviously. Who do you think Scar was able to call? Oh, impulse. Not yet, anyway. But, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. And I will see you in the next one, whenever that might be. Goodbye.